Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. The Orange County Business Council is honoring organizations that make doing business a little easier. They call it turning red tape into red carpet. Santa Ana College's International Business Program is being acknowledged with such an award. It's the Globalization Award. And with us now is Professor Glenn Doolittle, who heads up the International Business Program over at Santa Ana College. Welcome.
Thank you, Leslie. Nice to be here.
What did you do to earn this distinction?
We've had an international business program for over 20 years, and the program started through some grants from the federal government. And I think the main thing that makes our program different is it's very practical. So we teach students the hands-on skills that they need to be successful in international trade today. And I think it's that practical, hands-on, real-world part of the program that's what's made us successful, and I think what's being honored today.
So in practicality, instead of just leaving college with a degree, you leave college with specific skills that can get you specific jobs in the real world.
Exactly. So we offer a degree in international business, which is a 2-year AA degree. And then we also offer a certificate in international business. So we get students that graduate college and decide they want to get international business experience and training, so they come back to the community college. So we have the credential, that's the certificate and the degree, and then we've aligned our program with a national test, which is now the standard for international trade training. So students finish our program and then they can take this national exam. So they get really 2 things when they graduate from our program. And so we're proud of the fact that they can get this credential called the CGBP.
And this sort of education not only helps us students, it also helps the local business community because it makes the pool of potential employees a little stronger.
That's correct. What some people don't realize is that community colleges are also very big on economic development. So some people only know community colleges as a stepping stone to university, and we do have transfer agreements for our program, but it's also that skills development that is important, and we actually have a number of those programs at our school and in our district.
What do you teach? What are the courses involved in an international business program?
So we call them 4 pillars. We have a law pillar, we have a pillar in trade finance, we have a pillar in logistics, and we have a pillar in marketing. So I teach in the law sequence because I have a law background. And then we have an introductory class, which is an overview. And then we have a culture class, which I teach. And the culture is very interesting and important because if you get the culture right, everything else follows. And if you don't get the culture right, nothing else works. And the good thing about culture is you're going to run into people from other cultures here, particularly in Southern California, whether you ever do international business or not.
And some of those little culture norms, I was just reading in Korea, when you toast to the new year, you need to empty your glass. And in other countries, you can just keep it flowing throughout the celebration.
Exactly. It's a bit complicated. We use an interesting book called Kiss, Bow, or Shake Hands, which I think is a fun book to have. 6 or 7 pages that summarizes the geography, the history, the political situation, just enough. But then it gets into those protocol issues, which are some countries you don't open the gift in front of people. Some countries the color white isn't good. So there's a lot of those little things. I always recommend that you read that on the plane on the way over to where you're traveling to.
Tell us about some of the success stories you've had with some of the students who have gone through your course.
We have had a number of interesting successes. We've had students that go through the program, and we try to track them in 2 different ways. One is transfer, and because of the success of our program, we have a lot of universities coming to us and actually wanting our students. It sounds odd, but University of Northern Iowa comes to Santa Ana to recruit our students because of our program, and we've had students that go there and get all kind of financial incentives to go there. So we have success from a transfer point of view. And then we love to get the emails from people in London or Budapest saying that they went through our program, they have a job, they're doing international distribution, they loved our program, tell everybody hang in there, tell everybody keep going. And it just makes you feel really good when you see the success of the students actually getting jobs.
How have you seen international business change in the 20 years your program since it started?
It's a great question. I wish we had an hour to talk about it. When we started, and I started about 1996, NAFTA was 1994. Fall of the Berlin Wall, international trade and globalization is going to bring world peace, and we're going to have, kind of this global trading system, and everybody's going to be happy. I think 9/11, changed our view of international things. And now I think the environment for international business it's kind of a given. People in the business community, when I tell them I teach international business, they look at me funny. And they say, isn't all business international? And I say, yes, except in schools where it's a specialty kind of boutique area. And I'm continually kind of surprised that we still have to sell the idea of trade and free trade and globalization to students and people. But you just have to keep telling the story. We do live in a global economy. And we're part of that training to help people get the skills so that they can be successful in a global economy.
How do you teach to the students when we have our, President Trump about to be and his different perspectives on trade? What do you tell students? Again, we tell students that you live in a global environment, and we really can't go back to the old system. Businesses aren't going to go back to a different sort of a system. And what we try to do is engage the students. And actually, we just got a new grant to look at different resources for teaching students, because the days of students reading textbooks like I was taught, and maybe you were taught when you went to college, they don't love textbooks like we do. So we have a new grant to look at different teaching resources. Students love videos, students love projects and things like that. So we have a new grant to look at what they call open education resources, and try to align our resources and our teaching materials to the way students learn today. And we find all those kinds of things engage the students, and that's really what you're trying to do, is get them interested and engaged in the content in the class and in the kind of community of international business students that we create. The world is changing so much, and it is converging on your program, it seems, because we are impossibly interconnected internationally with business, and there is so much change in technology and the way students are learning. I think it's so much more accepted now for students to learn online and use other kinds of resources. How do you see that aspect affecting?
International business, entrepreneurship, the kind of things that we teach are so dynamic from a policy point of view, from a practical point of view, and then, as you mentioned, technology, that we're constantly having to revise and change what we do. When I first started, there were no online classes. We taught night classes. Now we have night classes, day classes, and online, and how do you get the right balance of that? And with online classes, how do you engage students and give them the same type of experiences that they get in class? So those are issues that we're struggling with, and I think all schools are struggling with. But today you really don't have any choice. People want to learn online, and they want to learn on their phones. So schools have to adapt to the needs of the customers, who's ultimately the student.
Well, congratulations on your success and being acknowledged by the Orange County Business Council. Very nice to have you here today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it very much, and it's very kind of you to have us.
All right. Thank you. Glad you could join us as well. I'm Leslie Leyton.